Let's bring in now former intelligence minister, veteran of the ANC, Ronnie Kasrils, who is also, I'm sure, reflecting on a life well lived. Ronnie, good afternoon to you. As I mentioned to our reporter, there's a degree of poignancy today, the last survivor of men who faced the death penalty with Nelson Mandela. How are you remembering him this afternoon?
Very sad, so sad that he's finally left us. And of course, the first thoughts are condolences for his dear son and his comrade, Cello, and the family there. They've lost, and we as a country have lost a wonderful human being and an absolute stalwart of the struggle who gave his life for the freedom and the democracy of our people, and still was raising his voice in terms of the needs for the people of this country, and particularly the poor, to live better life, and how he raised his voice against corruption, but at the same time he remained a loyal member of the ANC. My thoughts go back many, many years, but they start with what I know of Andrew Mlangeni, who knew poverty and privation at a very early age, lost his father when he was 2-year-old. The mother brought the family up in a shanty town in Soweto before moving into a house there. He left school at the age of 12. He had to work to help his mother. He became a very young Putco bus driver, and he knew what working for a living was, what exploitation was all about. So he became involved in a strike in the early 50s and joined the ANC. He was so committed and so reliable, and I remember this with some humor, because I saw him as the butt of jokes from the likes of Joe Modisi and John and Kadameng. You know, they had a nickname for him, which in a polite word was Mr. Reliable, Comrade Dependability. But in the way they put it, they said, give Comrade Andrew a task and he will fulfill it. He becomes so single-minded about it that he's like a wonderful robot. And they weren't playing him down, but they were laughing, and he would laugh with them. I saw this on a number of occasions, but what they were referring to was the man's dependability, the reliability of this freedom fighter. Give him a task, no matter how small or big, no matter how onerous or dangerous. Andrew Mlangeni would succeed in that mission. Nothing could deflect him. He would stick to that task, which is where these terms and these nicknames derived. It also showed he could take a joke, and it also showed how his peers absolutely loved him. He's the last remaining survivor of the Rivonia trialists, sentenced to life imprisonment. He was brutally tortured by the police, by the security branch in 1963 after the Rivonia arrests. He was given electric torture treatment, and they couldn't get him to reveal one simple little secret, one scrap of information. He kept his mouth absolutely tight and showed that bravery, that courage, that devotion that made him such a lovable and irrepressible person. He was modest to the extreme. All he wanted to do was to serve the people of our country. He wasn't interested in fame or fortune, which is why he cried out against the corruption that began to rear its head during that Zuma period.
And Ronnie Kasrils, I am going to thank you for that warm and loving tribute. Thank you very much indeed. Veteran ANC member, also former Minister of Intelligence.